Okay, so obviously spoilers for ReZero. So today we just had episode 16 of ReZero, and I have to keep telling you guys, these writers just love having a good time. Because man, oh man, I was feeling Garfield's story. That made me actually sad. Like Garfield was going through just a little bit of trauma. I don't think it was enough of an excuse to kill everybody multiple times, but I understand his character more today thanks to this episode, and his reluctance to change, his reluctance to the outside world. The outside world is what killed his mother. Spoilers. Again, this whole thing is like, if you're watching this, the whole thing is spoilers, obviously. Don't watch this if you haven't watched the episode. Anyways, so the outside world took his mother away in that kind of sense. He thought his mother, or at least he kept telling himself, his mother was going out to go find happiness. Yet, the moment she goes outside, she dies from like a rock slide or a landslide. And this is now causing like great conflict in Garfield as a person, because this outside world is what kind of took her away. It took away the happiness. The last thing he can tell himself now is, well, at least she just left to go be happy, and it's not really my problem, since it's not really her problem, since it was just one-sided. Like I'm the one who loved my mom. She went to go find her happiness. She didn't, but you know, it's just kind of a way for him to brush off. This is my first. I'm probably gonna have to rewatch it because it's a little complex to like for me to think about, at least, because he's in a very weird position. Being the fact that he was so young too when they put him in the trial. He looked like he was like, well, now that we also know something else about Garfield, he might have been 2 for all I know, or 1. But okay, spoilers. Let's just say spoilers. Garfield's 14. Garfield's as old as Felt. Really take that into consideration, right? Okay. So yeah, when we see him in the beginning, in the first episode, I don't know how old Garfield is at all. He could have been 2 years old, and they're just like, oh well, Garfield, you're like the only one here who can take the trial. Your sister left a while ago, so I hope you're ready. Go ahead, Garfield. And then obviously a child can't comprehend having to deal with the traumatic past, so now this dude's stuck in pause mode for however many years. Let's say like I'm gonna say he's 2 years old. I'm just gonna stick on that. I know he's probably not 2, but I'm gonna just keep up with it. So for 12 years, Garfield's stuck in the same mindset of his mother not wanting to accept the fact that his mother loved him, as we come to find out. And the reason why she was leaving was actually to go find Garfield's father. But we don't get to all this first until Subaru has to deal with Garfield. So we started the episode as we did, right? But instead they show us a flashback of Garfield, like I said, going through the trial younger. He freaks out, has a panic attack, and starts hitting his head against the pillar until he gets that scar on his head, which is he was very lucky that was the scar that ended up in his head, not just a big old bloody dot on the front of his head. Anyways, so he's going, I'm gonna go break the gate, and now no one can get out. I'm the wall. No one's getting out of here. Everyone's gonna be safe. I'm protecting everybody in here. And then the first person, well, Subaru kind of calls him his crap, but the first person to get Garfield to like pause for a second was Emilia, being like, oh, so you're just afraid. And he's like, what, how dare you? He got pissed off because she's calling him on his crap. Then Subaru, I didn't think he'd have the nerve in him, but the first thing Subaru does is just bring straight up, there's no hiding your past, dude. The elves already told me. Is it Elma? Was it Elma that told him? It was Elma already told me, dude. Your mom left you. You're an orphan. You've been abandoned. And then, he starts panicking, and for the first time we see Garfield start to back down. So Garfield starts backpedaling, like actually backpedaling. He's walking backwards. He's like, you know how it is in anime. Chigao, like you're wrong. No, it's not that. So he's backpedaling, talking like that. Subaru goes on, and he keeps talking about it, and he's like, man, if you hate your mom, just tell everybody you hate your mom, and let's get the freak out of here. Like, stop keeping us all trapped because you haven't grown past this thing that you're too afraid to deal with. And Garfield's like, no, you don't freaking get it. I loved my mom. I just wanted her to be outside and find happiness. And then later, as we go on through the episode, Garfield I don't remember. I think, yeah, Garfield states the fact. I think he says to Subaru the fact that she died. But we finally watched Garfield kind of like break down for the first time. At first, like when after he came back from the fight for Rem and Otto, like he was still him. Like he was just pissed that they were doing all this, and he was just like, I'm gonna close the gate or whatever. But now with Subaru bringing up his mother, bringing up something important to him, he finally has a moment where he is forced to reflect, and it was only for an instant. Because then he starts going into tiger mode, and like, Subaru, can I? I'm trying to make sure I remember the order of this right, because there's like 3 moments of Subaru being a big man. So Emilia's about to hop in, and then Subaru's like, no, I got this, I'm fine, I got this. He goes full tire form. Subaru just dashes at him, like they are dashing at each other. Subaru uses Shamrock, super effective. Garfield was blinded. He didn't get him, and then it turns out that crystal that Frederica gave him, when he stabs it into Garfield's skin, not by much, but like he stabs into his arm, it reverts him back to human. So we now know the purpose, or a second purpose, of the crystals is if you run to Garfield and he goes full tiger form, you stab him with the crystal so you can live. Okay, if you can reach him without getting palmed to death. Okay. Then Garfield and him are still having their conversation. Garfield's still on the same crap about like, I'm not done yet. Like, you might have got me on my form, but I'm not done yet. Why the frick do you keep like trying so much? In a general sense, Subaru's still calling him on his crap. Then Garfield does what he does to Otto, which is deck Subaru as hard in the face as he can. And dude, my dude Subaru just, like, it hurt. It clearly hurt, but my dude's not off his feet. He's standing there just staring at him. You're not running away from this, dude. You're not running away from this. Then we got an interesting part of it. Now, I'm pretty sure this is not in order. This is not correctly in order. I'm pretty sure Garfield goes back for another reason. Like, it's still the same argument. He goes to punch Subaru again. But this time, Subaru's sloth factor activates. So, we see a new power with Subaru, which is crazy. We have not seen anything like this before, and it's only been returned by death. Subaru used the unseen hand. So that's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. And he decks Garfield with just straight uppercut to Garfield's freaking face, dude. Garfield goes straight up in the air, hits the ground, and then Subaru's like, he seems winded. Like, I think he coughs, like he starts spitting out, like, not blood, but he just starts spitting and like coughing. So I'm not so sure it's a pleasant feeling to use the unseen hand. And everybody we've seen use it is crazy. So I wouldn't say like, oh, this is going to be like some amazing thing I got to do. It looks like it's probably a little painful. Either that or Subaru is still tired, as we'll find out later, of what he actually did when he ditched Emilia. This episode was full of so many bangers. So Garfield's man. So Garfield just stands back up and goes back to go try to punch him again. He's obviously beaten up since he fought Otto. He fought Ram. Both of them using high-level magic. In the light novel, supposedly, this isn't like super spoilers. It's just with that fight specifically with Ram and Otto. Otto actually used like a high-level magic. Someone else said that in one of their videos, like for episode 15, I think, with the fight. So I'm just saying that part, but that's not anything crazy. That's not like some huge spoiler or something. So he survived both like 2 of the strongest magic attacks. I'm sure Ram was beating the crap out of him, because we already saw how that was going, right? I have no idea how they escaped. He might have just let him go, honestly. Like, he's not that terrible. He doesn't like Subaru, because Subaru is like, Rim already had this issue. Rim had the whole thing where Subaru comes off crazy suspicious, and he smells like a witch cultist. No. Like, I don't tell my trust in this guy. I don't know where this guy's from. And then all you guys are just like, yeah, he's just great. Like, he does everything right. Like, he has no idea. Now, at the same time, it could be a little insecurity from Garfield. Like, that could actually just be his insecurity coming out for seeing a guy who has absolutely no power whatsoever just keep trying to do crazy stuff, and for some reason not seeming afraid of it. But that's headcanon. Okay. So Garfield gets back up after being punched by the unseen hand, the unseen uppercut of death. And then he's starting to run back at Subaru. He's gonna go punch him again. And I was like, okay, Emilia, you're gonna hit him now? You're free to hit him now. But no, it was actually best girl Patrash. She came running in and then just bam, full on right into Garfield, because he flipped her over. You remember he slammed her on the ground. Even she remembered that. And he rolled all the way over, hit the wall like a Dragon Ball Z character, and he was down. And then Subaru was like, man, dude, you were just a whole nother level of stubborn. But as you can see, the strength of numbers, he kept bringing that up over and over again. Strength of numbers is what's going to win us today. So Garfield he passes out. So he kind of admits defeat a little bit. He's like, I guess it does take more than one person to lift something stone. He just keeps saying a bunch of old sayings for some reason, or random sayings for some reason. Subaru also passes out because obviously he was gotten punched the crap out of by Garfield once. I think it was just once, but that's enough. That dude hits like a train, so that's completely fine. And he used Shamuk, and he was already injured, as we already saw with Emilia with the kiss thing. So yeah, so it's okay that he's down already. So Subaru's like in his mind for a second, and then he brings up the whole witch factor thing I was talking about. So he was like, this is a sloth factor, the witch, to use the unseen hand. He made a little quote after it. I had to go back over it and then be like, oh, okay. You'll probably get a little bit more of analysis about it now or in the next video than right now. He wakes up, Hizumakura, lap pillow in Japanese, I think that's how you say it, to Emilia. He's like, oh great, I'm alive. Like, obviously, I think he was actually just betting on it. I feel like he was pretty confident this time. Otto's there. So he looks kind of bruised up, but not as bad as Subaru's face when he got punched. Subaru gets up, headbutts him, and then he's like, I'm glad you're alive, and then gives him his hand or whatever. Otto's like a little like shook, like they're just fine them being like real friends. Subaru turns around to Emilia. Where's Garfield? Garfield's he's still in the same area, but he's actually gotten what every Ram simp has ever wanted. He's a Makura Ram. Okay, Garfield wakes up, right? It's so funny. Garfield wakes up. Ram is giving him a lap pillow, and the moment he wakes up, she's like, oh, are you awake? He's like, yeah, and then she pushes him off, and then he lands on his face in the tile, and I'm just like, man, Ram's a jerk. Golly. And after that, he's talking to her, and he's like, okay, I guess you're just not gonna be nice to me today, huh? You just don't have a nice bone in you. And she's like, yeah, she's like, no, I don't have a nice bone. I think specifically like people who aren't facing their problems. Like, she goes in on him, and then to the very end of saying, you can't run from your problems, and points at the sanctuary. And then Garfield kind of accepts to the point now that he's lost to a certain degree. He was arguing with Ram about the fact that he doesn't think he's wrong in doing what he's doing. But Ram kind of still calls him out on that. So he goes, he gets up, and he's ready to take on the sanctuary. We have our entire party ready, right? Everybody's standing around. They're all having talking. I don't remember if the Emilia Subaru scene comes before this or after this, but I'll still talk about it. But we'll just go on with Garfield, stay on narrative. So Garfield goes finally back into the sanctuary. When he goes back into the sanctuary, he is shown his past, but not like Subaru, this was my theory beforehand, and I said it the last time. I think Echidna was being nicer to Subaru than I think she was being to everybody else, and I was confirmed on one part of that. I specifically think she was getting in the way of one or two people, just possibly could be two, or at least not lowering the difficulty for them, okay? Wasn't that Subaru's wasn't tough, but the favoritism. All right, so Garfield goes into his past. It's showing his mom right before she's about to leave. She's holding Garfield. Garfield's a baby at the time. Frederica's a little girl. Their mom is talking to I don't remember which of the Ryuzumas it was, but one of them. She's talking to him. It's probably the one that rescued him. It's probably the right one. Anyways. So they're talking. She's like, are you sure you want to go? I'm worried about your children, being worried that you're gone. Like, think about their happiness as well. And she's like, I am thinking about their happiness. She wants to go leave so she can go find their father. Now, that also puts another character in perspective. So Garfield's father might still be out there, and there might be some resentment there. We don't see any, but we don't know that. Like, there could be. Also, they have different fathers, so that was also a weird statement. So, was she gonna find both of their fathers? They have different fathers, right? Put that in the comments. I'm not crazy, right? Or is that just weirdly translated? Or do they actually do have the same dad, and only one of them got like half tiger blood, the other one got 25? That wouldn't make any sense, but you never know. So Garfield's forced to confront the fact that their mom left not because she wanted her own happiness. He was okay with thinking he loved his mom, but his mom, you know, she didn't want to be around. She just wanted to go find her own happiness. That made him fine. He already knew she was dead, but it still made him at least feel better that she left for her own happiness, even though she didn't get to go find it. However, chokes him up immediately, and it kind of choked me up a little bit, when the first thing that she was actually going to look for was something for them. So he had to confront the fact that his mother's love was mutual to him as well. What also sucked, like, you could see how emotionally distraught he does not like himself to some degree. So that's why it was nice having Emilia call him out on it. And also Subaru, because these are both two people who have had to deal with their self-hatred for themselves. He punches his baby self immediately. Like, you always get people talking about, like, if I could go back in the past, I would. He full on just like fist through head. And, like, he can't touch his memory, which is also the part that makes me think that a kid handles people's memories differently. Because his was completely, he was not interacting with his past till he was denying the fact that his mom loved him. Then Frederica, the child version of him, called him out on it and was like, yes, she did. You know full well what happened. That's why you put that stupid scar on your head, because you didn't want to remember that she kissed you on the forehead before she went. Now, to her credit, and to his credit, no, my bad, to his credit, how the frick is he gonna remember that at like 2 years old? Do any of you have memories from when you were like 2? I have memories when I was like 4. I don't have any memories when I was like 2 years old. Or 1. He wasn't talking, so he could be 1. So you're actually from Garfield's age, like the freak, so it's still baffling me. Anyways. So she calls him out on his crap. He's like, no, that's not the way I'm feeling or whatever. And then he finally is forced to accept that, yes, she did. He even has to ask Frederica for help. And we already know how he feels about his sister. He always talks about his sister in a negative light. And then it was funny hearing kid Frederica be like, you're asking your younger version of your older sister for help. Wow. But he admits he's pathetic. He admits he doesn't know what to do. Then she asks him, what do you want to do? And that's the question that Garfield kind of answers, but I feel like that's gonna be more of his journey after this, is what do you want to do? Like how, as Subaru asks, what do you want to do after you get out of Sanctuary? I did not remember that. I just remembered it as I said it. Wow, this writing is really good. Like, I know they have a light novel to work on, but man, they are really tying this together. So Garfield's done. He walks out and he's passed. And now he's a lot nicer because he's dealt with his backstory. Okay, I'm gonna call it that. He's dealt with his trauma. So he pats the two elves in the head. He calls Subaru boss now. He slaps him on the shoulder. He's like, thanks, I wouldn't have gotten that done without the two of you. Tells Ram I got over my past. I don't know if it changes anything, but I got over it. And then Ram tells us that he's actually only 14 years old, so he's just as old as Felt. She's freaking crazy. Freaking, I don't remember if Felt's 14 or 15. She might have been 15. He might be younger than Felt. And Subaru freaks out. Subaru was like, he's only 14. He's a freaking 8th grader. Screams at the top of his lungs. Dude's an 8th grader? That much trouble with some 14-year-old kid. Subaru's like 18 years old. He's an adult now, and he's having to deal with all this trauma from some 14-year-old who can kill him in an instant. I mean, you know, if he can hit him, as we've learned today, if he can hit him first. Then so Emilia, Garfield says it's not. I can't do the whole thing. Emilia, it's your turn. She's pumped. Like, she's ready. She's even saying stuff that's a little confident. Subaru even calls her on that. Then she brings up the fact of the kiss, and she's embarrassed about it. Subaru is obviously embarrassed about it. He doesn't know how to handle the situation after doing that, which I thought was a very nice touch. I'm glad they didn't just go to like, oh, we're just a couple now, like SAO, where they just get married and then they're just normal and everything. He doesn't know what he's doing. So that's great to see him just immediately panic, and she especially doesn't know what she's doing. So it's double panic. It's great. She walks in, you know, Subaru, like, he's praying. He even does like a little prayer for her as she's walking in. Garfield walks up to him and goes, hey, you know, I gotta apologize. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, you know that thing you were doing while you were in there? I did see that. And then Subaru just starts screaming and panicking. He's like completely nervous. It was funny, I forgot this one moment. When Garfield goes to tell Subaru, like, you gotta do what you need to do, he's blushing the entire time because he's an embarrassed wreck, and he doesn't have to do this stuff. Like, he doesn't normally do this stuff. It's the first time we're seeing him be an honest, open person. Okay, this season's main sign of being honest and open is, are you blushing or not? Okay, that's as simple as it is. If the person you're in a relationship with doesn't blush when they're talking to you, they're freaking lying. I'm just letting you know now. Okay. So Emilia walks into the sanctuary after we watch Subaru get embarrassed with Garfield teasing him about the kiss, obviously. She walks in, and the first thing she sees when she walks in, and this is the reason why Subaru wasn't here, is a ton of writing from Subaru and Puck all over the walls of the inner sanctuary room. You know, the one room that Subaru always kept coming back to when he died. All over that, just pictures and images of Puck writing from, like, I'm pretty sure Puck probably told Subaru what to write. Both of them wrote all over there. And Emilia, you know, she's touched. Like, that's the whole reason why Subaru skipped out on her, was to make sure she was motivated when she went in. So Subaru not only went through the trial doors. You remember Roswell? You see his messed up body? That dude? He went all the way through there, walked all the way inside. He couldn't take the trial because he didn't have the, you know, the authority anymore. Or he does, but, you know, she's not like going to take the trial. Whatever, you know, I don't remember the actual term. It's not my bad. Anyways, walks in there, writes all over the thing for probably hours. Like, it's all over the wall, so probably hours. It wasn't like some great masterpiece, but it was definitely scratched in, so probably took him a while. And then came all the way back out, waited for Emilia, probably till daytime, went all the way back in again just to go talk to her after she left. And then comes all the way back out, deals with Garfield, has that whole entire thing, and now he's finally able to rest. Subaru is a champ, dude. Subaru is a champ. No one disrespect my man Subaru, dude. Golly. Anyways, so she starts to take the trial, and the episode like cuts to the words, I'm pretty sure, so you think the episode's over, but it's not. We actually get something really, really big. So, as I said about Echidna probably being extra mean to Emilia, because I feel like I have a theory, but I'm not gonna say it. I don't need to be that right. I already have my theory. Or yes, no, I guess that theory's out the water because today. Never mind, screw it, I said that. Anyways, so she's just talking mad smack to Emilia. She's like, you're forgetful, you who only loves yourself, that you've forgotten, that he forgotten, or some wording. The wording's a bit weird, but she's just talking mad smack to her. Then she brings out these words: the daughter of the witch. So Emilia, I don't know if it's Satella, but I'm guessing that's what's implied. Emilia is Satella's daughter. Or, my other thing was, because they didn't say who his mother was, it could be Echidna. I don't think it's Echidna. But it could be. You never know. They both still have silver hair, but she's not an elf, I guess, right? So it's probably freaking Satella. Anyways, we finally get some confidence out of Emilia. She points her finger up in the air, and it felt like to me she was doing a Subaru thing, but you guys let me know if you guys think that as well. She goes, my name's Emilia. She says her last name. She says where she's from. And then she says, I won't let another witch, like, try to put me in my place. Whatever, something like that. Some of those wordings. I was just too hype with Emilia being hype, okay? I can't remember the exact wordings when I go over these episodes. I'm already 24 minutes in, okay? But I am so pumped. It is so nice to see confident Emilia. She looked like a shonen protagonist. Oh my gosh, I was so hyped. I don't like Echidna much because I could tell that she's kind of fake. Like, that's her whole thing. When you met her the first time, she starts acting like Subaru, like the way Subaru sees Emilia, she starts doing that because she's aware of how to get around Subaru's mind. She starts doing the, oh my gosh, Subaru, blah, 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 Subaru, don't judge me, I'm just actually just some girl, quirky, hee hee, like, none of that garbage. No, No, she just wanted to use him for crap. And if you've seen the Greediff, or at least watch people's videos, I think the videos on the Greediff leave the spoilers out, so I think you'll be okay on that one. You can see what kind of person she is. Like, go watch the Greediff. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. Go watch the Greediff. So I'm really pumped. You see pumped Emilia. We have pumped Emilia, all right? We got shonen protagonist Emilia. We've got 14-year-old Garfield who's ready to get some lasagna. We got Otto with the power of nature, Captain Planet. We have Ram just being Ram, a complete tsundere. And then we have Patrosh, best girl, right? I love that meme. I love that meme so much. But man, dude, I am so pumped to see where the next episode goes, because this has to be like the Emilia-ish episode, since they cut off with her. That's what we did with Garfield. Was basically the Garfield episode. I don't think anybody else needs their backstories explained. You already know Ram's backstory. We're gonna get Patrosh's backstory. But let me know if you're excited. What was your favorite part of this episode? Tell me your theories or things below. No spoiler stuff. Don't tell me any spoiler stuff. Just gonna delete your comment. I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, a spoiler. I'm gonna go, okay, well, I guess I'm just deleting your comment. Bye. Let me know. All right, be sure to subscribe, join the flock, and I'll catch you later. More Rezero next week. Don't leave.